there a couple of hours, I clean my car every month. All right.
The Bishop James said you can't jack up the price.
Right.
Yeah, she said.
The Bachim are definitely listening. And I remember I once hired one of these guys. And the guy started telling me, I showed him, the guy said, this is Nishchamet, this is Mashu, this is Nish this is this is Batul Bashishim. I was like, guy, come on, don't give me, you're a Shiva Bacha, don't give me all these things, clean my car. So it was, that was that. Hashem. The other guy said, you just drop a couple coins over the car and the kids will find it. And so it's like this I made, so don't give my kids any ideas. Free labor. Alright, Daf Chav Gimel Omed Aleph at the bottom. Daf Chav Gimel. I had it long day. Daf Gimel Omed Aleph at the bottom. Chagiga Gimel Omed Aleph at the bottom. What? Yeah, so one of the things we said that Gebak Noch Pesach, Fa Pesach. So what's like a Gebak Noch Pesach, Fa Pesach? You know, like these companies that they bake it for Pesach and put a sticker for Pesach already. What's the yont? They already had the items out. Gebak Noch Pesach. It's a baked after Pesach. We have this story in the Haggadah with Elazar ben Azariah. Elazar ben Azariah is like this. Gamliel of Yavne was the Nasi, and he had a dispute with Rabbi Yeshua and some other people. And after the dispute became so big that they decided to remove him from his post. And they put Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah instead. He was a young guy, 18 years old, very smart. And they decided they're going to put him. And he asked his wife, should I become the Nasi? His wife said, you don't even have one strand of white hair. So overnight, he had white, or he had a bunch of strands. And that's why he said, this is what we say on Pesach. So we're going to learn a Gemara about him before Pesach, after Pesach. Whatever Pesach. So this is Gebak Noch Pesach. But they basically, Rabbi Yeshua was the Baal Machlokes with Rabbi Gamliel. And after a little while, they worked out the issues. They worked out the issues, the Chacham, and they installed. They basically said, now we need to put the Rabbi Gamliel back. And by the way, did I turn it on? Yeah. Now I put Rabbi Gamliel back into his position as a Nasi. So what are we going to do with Elazar ben Azariah? I can't remove him. You always oila. Ma'ila Makodesh, you go up in Kedusha, you go up level, so you never go back down. So what are you going to do? So they said Rabbi Gamliel is going to be they're both going to be Nasim. They're both going to hold the mantle. Rabbi Gamliel is going to be darshaning 3 times in the month, 3 Shabbos in a month, and Elazar ben Azariah is going to darshan 1 Shabbos. And this is called in Gemara. This is called Shabbos shel mi. Whose Shabbos is it? Whenever it is asked whose Shabbos is it, it's talking about these 2 Tanoim, Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Who spoke that Shabbos and Shul? Who taught us that Shabbos and Shul? So again, Rabbi Yeshua was the one that was Baal Machlokes with Rabbi Gamliel. Tana Rabbanan. So we're holding what? Tana Rabbanan, Daf Gimel Amud Aleph on the bottom, 2 lines before the wider lines. Tana Rabbanan. Maaseh. So the narrow lines, the last 2 lines. Tana Rabbanan. Maaseh ben Rabbi Yochanan ben Beroikam. The story of Rabbi Yochanan ben Beroikam and Rabbi Elazar ben Chisma. They both came to visit Shaholchu lahakbil pnei Rabbi Yeshua b'Pekin. They came to visit the Rabbi Yeshua in Pekin. What's that visit? It is halacha that chayev adam lahakbil rabbi b'regel. Every yontav there's a chiyuv that you have to visit your Rebbe. You have to visit your Rebbe on yontav. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Beroikam and Rabbi Elazar decided it's yontav. We have to go visit our Rebbe. Where was the Rebbe? In Pekin. What was in Pekin? Anyone else? What was in Pekin?
The cave of the Mara.
The cave of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. So again, right before Pesach, after Pesach. So this is Pekin. The cave still exists, or at least people are monetizing it.
There's a sign right there.
Yeah, people are monetizing it. Okay. So They came to visit Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua, welcome. They came to visit Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua was the one that caused the ouster of Rabbi Gamliel of Yavne. Now they put him back together, ready? And now it's Rabbi Yeshua saw his two students come. He told them, Hayam, what did they tell you in shul? What did you learn lately in shul? They told him, how can we tell you what was taught? I can't teach you a halacha. There's a halacha that you're not allowed to teach a halacha in front of your teacher. Talmidecha anu, we are your talmidim. We drink your water, don't drink our water. You have to teach us. We can't teach you. They told him, I want to know what's going on. It's impossible that there was a besmedish people learned and nothing new came up. So he asked him, Shabbos shel mi hoisa, whose turn was it this Shabbos to speak? So they told him, Shabbos shel Rabbi ben Azariah, your friend Rabbi ben Azariah. He's asking, he's pulling it out of them like my teacher sits in cheder, like with a pliers, he's pulling the information out of them. What did they speak about today? They told him in Pashas Hakel. They spoke about Hakel, mentioning it because we mentioned Hakel in the beginning of the page. But what did he say about Hakel? Come on, give me the information. So he said Hakel is ha'om ha'anoshim atash. It says in Pasuk that you have to gather the nation, men, women, and children. If the men come to learn, what's the point of the women coming? Noshim boys, lishmoya, the women come to hear. Now, if the men come to learn and the women come to hear, listen, why do you need the children there for? Tafla my boy, and what are the children coming? They're just going to make noise. To give reward to the mothers or the fathers who bring their children. Taisvus here says an interesting thing. There is a mach.
Last week you brought children.
Yeah, see, to learn, to listen.
I learned anything last week.
That's the point. The people that bring the children also don't learn. They just get a reward for bringing them. There's a machlek. We're going to learn Saita after Pesach. We're going to learn Saita when the Lubavitcher. It's one of the most famous Masechtas Lubavitcher that we know. There's a machlek there whether a woman that is drinking the water, the Saita water, she can be saved by Toila. Right? It says that the schus Toila, that the schus reward could help her, that she won't die immediately.
She can be saved by what?
By Saita. When someone drinks
she can be saved by
Torah.
Torah.
Yeah. So there's a machlekes there. There's a machlekes whether you're allowed to teach your daughter Torah. Some people say if you teach a woman Torah, it's ke'ilim lam tiflus. You're using it, but why? Because they are going to abuse the Torah in their ways they want. So obviously here, if it says that the woman come to hear not to learn, we are going according to the Shitta. We're going according to the opinion that women are not supposed to learn, and their mitzvah is just listening. That's just a side note. Okay. So basically, he said that the children come to give reward to the ones to bring them. Sabashua turned to them and says, beautiful pearls. This chiddush that he said about the children is a beautiful pearl. It'll be kashtem la'adman, and you wanted to withhold it from me? Come on, I gotta tell him the chidushim. So as soon as I saw that he wants to hear chidushim that were spoken in shul, so they said, okay, something else. Rabbi ben Azariah said something else. There's a pasuk in where is it? Nazinu, the end of the volume somewhere. There's a pasuk es ha'avaya hematu hayoim, es ha'avaya mir hayoim. You chose the Eibishter as your God. You singled him out. You wanted Dafka the Eibishter. The Eibishter also, in the same token, the Eibishter chose you as the nation. What's this pasuk mean? The Eibishter told Eden, Atem asisuni chativa achas b'olam. You made me one chosen piece. You chose me and you praised me in this world. I'm also going to praise you. Atem asisuni chativa achas b'olam. You chose me and you praised me. Where did we see that? We had it yesterday in Ramam Shleisha Plakim. There was a discussion between Yaakovin and his kids. Yaakovin, when he was passing away, he was worried that his kids are not going to stay on the right path, in the righteous path, in the right path. And what did he so the Shvatim said, Shema Yisrael, listen Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. So Yaakov answered them, Hashem Echad Mechus Elamot. So the Yidden say Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. With this, we make the Eibishter the only God. We praise the Eibishter as the only one. So this is the way the Yidden chose the Eibishter. And I, in turn, repay you that I chose you, the Yidden, as the one and only chosen nation. Shenema, who is like the nation like Yidden? Goy Echad Ba, that's one nation in the land. There's 70 nations. And the Eibishter called us as one nation. Okay. On a side note, the Maharsha asks a question. Maharsha asks a question that if you look in the Psukim in Hakel, it says Hakel and Anoshim Mataf, gather the men, women, and children, and then it says Ves B'neim what's the pasuk? B'neim Sheilamdu. It says that the pasuk that the children could also learn. So do children learn or do children not learn? So it says. Again, it's the same thing when we started the Mishnah. We had these little children that are young, that are very young and didn't reach the age of education, of chinuch. And here the pasuk is talking about the children that could learn and they reached the age of chinuch. Okay, so now the Eibishter basically said he chose the Yidden as the nation. Zak Taisves, the top Taisves. Mikam Chesol Yachad Ba'atz. I'm reading a medrash, an interesting medrash. Shloisha Me'idin Zeh, 3 entities say a witness on one another. Yisrael, Shabbos, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Yidden and Shabbos and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they join together, two join together against one and say a good witness, a good statement, a witness statement about the other. So what happens? Yisrael, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Yidden and the Eibishter. What do they say? Me'idim la Shabbos. They say that Shabbos sheyay menucha. When do we say that? The Alter Rebbe brings our halacha that Vaychul HaShemayim V'Aretz. After Shemona Esrei, you have to say Mu'umad, you have to say it standing. Why? The Alter Rebbe writes, because a witness has to say his witness statement standing. A chulu is a witness statement. In many communities, they even hold that you have to say it in unison. Alter Rebbe writes, you have to say it in unison. Some people say you have to say at least 2, because a witness statement is 2 people. So the Eibishter and the Yidden say that the Shabbos is a day of rest. Yisrael v'Shabbos, the Yidden and Shabbos say that the Eibishter has one. Al-Kadosh Baruch Hu, She'echad. Where, one moment, Al-Kadosh Baruch Hu v'Shabbos, the Eibishter and Shabbos also say, what do they say? That the Yidden are one. Al-Esach Mechidim, that the Yidden are one and only B'umas. That is why during Mincha and Shabbos we say something that is out of place. When we say the prayer, the tefillah of Ato Echad V'Shim Echad, you are one and your name is one, and what do we say right after? It has nothing to do with Shabbos. During Friday night, we say V'Shamlu. During Shabbos day, we say that the Eibishter gave us a present, and he gave it to Moshe Rabbeinu. We speak about Shabbos. By Mincha, that prayer has nothing to do with Shabbos. What does it come in? It comes in to tell you that Shabbos and the Yidden announce that the Eibishter is one. Now the Eibishter and Shabbos say Mikam Chesol that the Yidden are one. Interesting Taisus on the side. So now they said this. Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Yochanan said this in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Now V'afhu and also he. So here the Machlekes of Rashi and Marsha. Rashi says that they repeated a third statement of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Marsha says no, this is Rabbi Shua. V'afu is not Rabbi Shua saying something. Oh, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah spoke so well. Let me add my own spice, something else. What did he say? Pasuk V'darash he started in saying. It says a pasuk in Koheles. Shlomo HaMelech wrote Koheles. Divrei Chachamim kedarbonos. The words of the wise kedarbonos are like a darboin. What's a darboin? 2 oxen or 1 ox is plowing a field. How does the guy behind know how to guide the ox? He has to stand and hold the plow also. So there's a certain type of peg or something inside in the front, and he pulls it. He pulls it right. He goes left, whatever. He that's how he pulls it. So it says that divrei chachamim kedarbonos are like that peg that directs the oxen. Ukemasmedas, and they're like nails. Netuim that are planted And also the words of Chachamim, what are the Chachamim? Bali Asufis, the people that gather. Nitnu Melay Echad, it was given from one shepherd. What's this pasuk mean? Lemanim Shlo Divrei Torah. What is it? Why did they compare Divrei Torah to Darabon like the peg that directs the oxen? Lo Malach to tell you, Ma Darabon Ze B'Chavin Esapol LeTalmeo, just like this peg directs the animal to its, what is it called? Furrow?
Burrow.
Yeah. So it directs it to plow in the right place. Why? That eventually should something organic, something should grow. Same thing also the words of Torah. Torah also directs you from the bad side to the Achichaim. You have to learn Torah. So if that's the case, that the Torah is looked at just like a peg is not there forever. It's going to break it eventually. So this daber can shake and eventually break. So you would say that the words of Torah are also not forever. They're not finite words. They're like nails, good old nails. In the good old days, you bang on a nail, it stays there forever. So that
didn't use Goldberg's
nails.
So just like nails, now the Torah is considered, it's directing like the peg, but it's strong like a nail. If that's the case, what happens when you bang a nail into the wall, into a piece of wood? So if the piece of wood is very small, you're going to split the wood. That's usually what happens. If the piece of wood is big, you're not going to push the wood away.
Blunt the nail.
You know, no, it's not that the wood now becomes from 4 feet and a whatever, and a
millimeter.
Yeah. It's basically inside that place. It's just going to push away the wood, and it's going to make something's going to be missing. Wherever you bang the nail, you're not going to be able to put it back together. So basically, you take a nail and you make the wood wherever you bang it into missing. So you would say, just like a nail, if the Torah is just like a nail, when you bang it in, it creates a void, and it doesn't create an addition. So same thing also Torah. Just like a nail, it creates a void. And it doesn't add to you. Maybe you would say that the words of Torah will also create a void, either financially or whatever otherwise, and not add into your life. It's planted. It doesn't say it's tekuin, it's inserted or it's stuck in there. It says netuin planted. Why does it use the word planted on a nail? Nails don't get planted into the wall. Why is it like a plant? But just like a plant, it creates, it grows, and it actually uses the place that it went into and creates of it. It's unlike a nail that makes a void and it gets stuck there. A plant uses the area. It's not missing, not creating a void. The opposite, it adds and it creates and it adds more. So the Torah are just like a peg that directs you, is strong like a nail, and it creates and it makes more, not less. Now the Chacham called Baalei Sufis, the ones that gather. What about Sufis? Sufis, they sit groups and groups v'oiskin b'Torah, and the toil and learn Torah. And what happens? There's a bunch of people. So obviously there's groups and there's arguments. Halal metamin, halal metalim. One group says a certain item is tamei, and they say no. In this case, there should be Torah. Halal oislim. People say that this is not allowed. Halal matirin says it is allowed. Halal poislim. They say it's possible. Halal machshin. They say it's okay. Now, guy looks from the outside and he sees two groups of people fighting, and he's okay. It's very beautiful. I'm going to learn Torah, but how do I know what I need to do? If this guy says, if 20 guys say it's good and 20 guys say it's not good, how do I know? How do I learn what's the right way to do it? Maybe a person is going to look from the outside and say, "Hey, how can I learn Torah from now? Because I can make sense out of this." Talmud loima. So I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to learn both. What does it say in Pasuk? Kulam nitnu echad. Everything was given from one shepherd. Kael echad nesanan. One God gave it to us. And Rashi says, what does it mean one God gave it to us? You're never going to go to a shul and you have people arguing that in the Old Testament, in the Torah, it says Azai. In the New Testament, he says Azai. that argument doesn't happen. We speak about one Eibishter, one Torah, and one Moshe Rabbeinu that gave us a Torah. So Kel Echad Nesonan, Panas Echad Amon, one Panas, one shepherd, the one that sustains us is Moshe Rabbeinu. Pi Odin Kol HaMaisim Baruchu. It's from the mouth of the masters of everyone, of everything that He created. Because like it says in Pasuk, V'Daber Lakim as Kol Advarim Eileh. The Eibishter spoke all the words in the Torah. Everything's from the Eibishter, and no one is ever going to bring proof from a different, from a book from a different God. No one is going to pull up the Quran and say, "Oh, but in Quran steht das so." So now that this is the case, the Eibush is telling you, I know that there's going to be difference in opinions, but you should know this opinion and this opinion, they're both godly opinions. Eilu v'eilu, divrei Elokim Chaim. All words of the Hashem. So now what should he do? It still didn't give me a solution. What am I going to do? So the Eibush, af ato asei oznecho ka'afal keses. Make your ear like afal keses. Afal keses was the bucket that caught the flour at the end of the millstone. He put sacks of kernels into a millstone, and out comes a lot less. That's nature. You have the kernels are bloated, though they're bigger, and what comes out is much less. So the Eibush says, make your ears like a millstone, that everything goes in. You get all the different opinion, and then eventually the Eibush, you're going to dive into the Eibush to get a seich, to get a good, to understand what to deduce and what to learn out. And buy yourself, acquire yourself a heart, mavin, that understands the shmoya is diva metam, is diva metam, to listen and accept the words of the ones that say it's tamei impure, is diva metam, is diva eisim, is diva matir, and is diva poisam, is diva shin, both opinions. And then you will learn out what am I walking away with? What's the flower at the end that I'm going to be walking away with? The Eibush says, I can't give you everything. Something you have to toil for. But basically, you daven, ask the Eibush to acquire yourself a heart and mind to understand the right from wrong. So at this, now that they finished this discussion, so Rabbi Shua turned to his two Talmidim and it's told them, the generation that Rabbi Elazar ben Azar lives in is not an orphaned generation. Now we said before that this whole piece of the Gemara, according to Rashi, Rabbi Elazar ben Azar said it. So therefore, Rabbi Shua at the end says, he said so many beautiful statements, so a generation that has Rabbi Elazar ben Azar living in it is not orphaned. According to Maasar, it says this is Rabbi Shua said it. So at the end, after Rabbi Shua said, look, I'm going to add spices to what my teacher Rabbi Elazar ben Azar said. So at the end it says, what Rabbi Elazar ben Azar said was about one God, that you such Shema Yisrael, the Yidden accepted upon themselves only one Eibishter, and the Eibishter said, I'm also choosing the Yidden as one nation. Accordingly, I'm also going to tell you something about one God, one Torah. So look how great Rabbi Elazar ben Azar is, that we can find things that go according to what he said. Okay, Zayt the Gemara weiter. An interesting Gemara. The Gemara asks a question: why didn't the Talmidim of Rabbi Shua right away? The first time he asked them what's going on, why didn't they tell him right away? What were they worried about? So before we're going to do that, we're going to quickly look into a couple of halachas in Rambam, halachas Tmuras, halachas Tuma and Maasar. Crash course in Tuma and Maasar over here. Oops, that's for you. For my kids. Okay. Have enough? I gotta share. Okay. Hatumas v'amaisas and argument atayel v'atzasol. Tuma and Maasar in general. What's Tuma and Maasar? Someone has a field. He has 100 apples. He has to take 10 apples, give Tuma. Then he has to go do Maasar. So there's different Maasas. This Tuma Maasar is all Mincha is only atzasol. Bein b'fnei habayis, bein shel b'fnei habayis. In the time of the Beis Hamikdash and in the times when there's no Beis Hamikdash, in atzasol you have Mincha a chiyuv of giving Tuma and Maasar. Unevim hitkinu. The Nevi'im made a decree that this goes on. That in Bavel and the area surrounded Etzisol, they also have to give Tumas and Maasas. And the Yidden go back and forth from there. In the later generation, they made a takana that in addition to Shinal, which is Bavel, which is next to Etzisol, they should also have to give Tuma and Maasar in Eretz Mitzrayim and in the land of Amon and Moav. Amon and Moav is Jordan. It's basically where Jordan is today.
So now Amon and Moav closer? Weren't the Yidden originally camping?
Amon and Moav is on the other side of the Kinneret, on the other side of basically.
Didn't Yidden originally like Menashe?
Yeah.
So wouldn't that come before Shinar? Supposedly.
So this is what we're going to talk about. So halacha hey, when the Yidden went out of Mitzrayim, we have this in Tumah, I believe, in Gemara Tumah. When the Yidden went out of Mitzrayim, when they walked up, they conquered. Whatever they conquered the first time was called Kedusha L'Shoina, first sanctification. They sanctified the land, and that became holy. And everything that they sanctified as Etzisol became Etzisol at that time, including Amon and Moav, that the Bnei Menashe, Bnei Reuven, Menashe, Reuven, Gad, and Chatzibim, that settled there. They didn't want to Golos. They came back from Golos, and they conquered the land again. That is called Kedusha Shniya. That's called a second sanctification, and they sanctified the land the second time. The first one was not everlasting. The first one, whatever they conquered going from Etzisol, was only holy at that time when Yidden lived in Etzisol. Once they went into exile, went into Golos, everything went down. When Yidden went back up and they conquered it again, everything that they conquered became sanctified with a strong kedusha that lasts until Mashiach comes.
When you say everything they conquered, outside the borders, or
whatever they conquered.
The land which Moshe was told those are the borders.
Yes. So when they came back, they actually didn't conquer the entire Etzisol. They kept a couple areas next to Ashkelon and different areas. It says that they didn't fully conquer the land. And
so
whatever they conquered,
They don't have the kedusha.
So they don't have yet. Eilat does not have a kedusha Etzisol. Eilat does not have a kedusha Etzisol. I believe in Eilat. You don't even hold. You hold 2 days Yom Tov, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Could be. I don't know. I have to ask the.
The Lubavitchers hold 2 days.
So and other places also that were questioning about this whole thing. So now they conquered the land. So it says halacha hey, whatever the people that went out of Mitzrayim, what they held on, and they made the kedusha the shoina first kedusha, kivin shegola. As soon as they went into exile, but look at the kedusha went down, not only holy anymore, not that soul. Shekadusha is shoina because the first kedusha, the fish hoisib niyah kibush, because they only did it because they had to conquer the land. Bilvat kitchel ashayt v'le kitchel aslav. They only made it holy for that moment, as long as they lived. As soon as they left, it was done. Kivan shamal b'nei hagoyla. As soon as the Eden came back from the first destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, v'chziku miktzas alis, and they settled in a part of the land. Kitshua kedusha shniya. They sanctified that land. Kedusha shniya, its second time. Ha'emelis lo'elam, which is lasts forever. The shaita ula asid lo'elam, that moment and forever. V'niicha oisin ha'makoyim shechziku v'mo'edlam mitzrayim. They left out certain places that the people, when they came out of Mitzrayim, conquered. They did not reconquer them. Did not conquer it. And then, so technically, if they didn't conquer it, then there's no kedusha. It's not that soul. Then you shouldn't have to give tumah. You should have to give ma'aser. You shouldn't have shemitah. So they made the chacham made a takana. Decided those lands still have to give tumah and ma'aser, not because it's minatay, not that it tells us you have to do. But when it comes Shemitah and Etzisol, and no one has where to go to, so they said, okay, you can just cross the border to Amon and Moav. They have lands there, and they still have to give Tumah Maises that the Yidden in Etzisol should be able to survive. Okay, so the Yidden, Amon and Moav, did not have Shemitah. They only had to give Tumah Maises, did not have Shemitah. Okay, that's the basics of what's going on here. Now, how did Tumas Maises work? You gave Tumah, you gave Maasar Rishon, and you gave Maasar Sheni. The first year after Shemitah, you have to give Tumah to the Kohen. Maasar Sheni, that he have to, Maasar Rishon, you have to give, I believe, the Levi. And the Maasar Sheni, that you have to take the Shalayim. Second year, you have to do the same. Tumah, Maasar Rishon, Maasar Sheni. The third year is Tumah, Maasar Rishon, and Maasar Ani. You give it to the poor. And the same thing, year 4 and 5 is Maasar Sheni, and year 6 you give it to the poor. And the 7th year is Shemitah. No Tulma, no Maasar, nothing, because the land doesn't belong to you. Amon and Moav that doesn't have Shemitah, what do they do the 7th year? We said you have to give to Maasar. Which Maasar do they give? They give Tumah, they give Maasar Rishon. What do they do for the second Maasar? After you give Maasar Rishon every year, you do Maasar Sheni. Shem Asa Asa called Asa to Asa, 2 Maasar. Ubashona Shlishis, Ushishis, the 3rd year, the 6th year, you also do Maasar Ani, Chel of Maasar Sheni, you give Maasar Ani instead of Maasar Sheni. Okay, so now we don't know what happens with Amon and Moav. Amon and Moav, did you have to give Tumah and Maasas? Do they have to give Maasar Sheni or Maasar Ani? So the Gemara. Okay, the Gemara asks a question: why couldn't the Talmidim of Rabbi Yeshua tell Rabbi Yeshua clearly this is what he taught us? Why did they have to make him beg and pull it out of them? Because the story that happened. The Tanya. Here's the eye surgery. The Tanya, Maaseh ben Rabbi Yosef ben Damascus. There's a story. Yosef ben Damascus. He came to his Rebbe in Lud, Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer turned to him and says, what did the teacher in Mismelish? Amalei said they were discussing something, and then they make a count, a vote, and Nimnu, they counted, Vegamlu, and they paskin the halacha. The what? Amon and Moav. During Shemitah, Maasar, Maasar Sheni, V'Shviz. During Shemitah, Maasar Ani, V'Shviz. So basically it's 2 years Sheni, Ani, 2 years Sheni, Ani, and then it starts to count again. Okay? So Tosis on the side basically explains that technically, you have 2 and 1. 2 years Maasar Sheni and 1 year Maasar Ani. 2 years Maasar Sheni, Maasar Ani. The Shemitah is like, doesn't work out. And we don't know, it doesn't say anywhere that you have to give Ani, Maasar Ani one after the other. So they decided, again, the whole takana was that if Yidden that don't have what to eat, they should be able to eat. It doesn't make sense that on Shemitah you give Maasar Sheni. How does that help the Yidden Netzisol? Maasar Sheni is eaten by the owner. It goes up to the Shalayim and it brings it, eats himself. How is that going to help the Yidden Netzisol? So therefore, let's do Maasar Ani. So again, it's 2 years Maasar Sheni, Maasar Ani, Maasar Sheni, Ani, and then again 2 times Maasar Sheni. Like this, we have 4 times we give Maasar Sheni and 3 times we give Maasar Ani. That's what they said. This is what we came up in Shul. So Rabbi Eliezer turns to him and says, Amar la Yoisi, told him, Yoisi, pshoit yadecha, stretch out your hands, v'kabel anecha, and accept your eyes. Pashad Yadav, he stretched out his hand, v'kibel einov, and his eyes fell out of their sockets, and he became blind. Bach Rabbi Eliezer cried. V'amar, he said, the secrets the Eibishter only says to the people that he fears, and basically he was saying, how come these Talmidei Chacham did not know the halacha? How come they said we came up with this concept that Amon and Moav during Shemitah give Maasar Ani? It's not a new concept. We know it already. This is what I heard. I received Mechem Nezakai. Shesholem Rabbi, he heard from his teacher. Rabbi his teacher from his teacher until Moshe Rabbeinu Hilchas Moshe Sinai. That what Amon and Moav Maasar Maasar Ani B'Shviz. It's an old halacha. It's not something new. What's the reason? Matam Habekachim Kavshar the Mitzrayim the Kashmir. Well, many cities the Oilam Mitzrayim, the people Canaan Mitzrayim conquered it, and the Oilam Bavel did not conquer it. Why? Like we said that the Kedusha is only a one-time thing in the beginning, and only the second time it became for everlasting. And Venichom, and they left these cities out, that the poor people in Shviz and during Shemitah, they have nothing to eat, they should be able to go to those places and take food. So that this is basically told them it's an old halacha, nothing new. So now, because of the story, that the Talmidim of Yeshua, they knew this story, but the Salvayasi says, we're a little worried about it. If we come to our teacher and we tell him a Maaseh, first of all, who said that this is not an old Chiddush? Maybe he's going to tell us also, stretch out the arms. Let's do eye surgery over here. And secondly, the halacha is, you're not allowed to say halacha in front of your teacher. And what do you do if you say halacha in front of your teacher? It says, Yechayev Misa. You have to die. So what Rabbi Eliezer did, he made him blind. Summa, a blind person, is considered dead. And therefore he told him, he blinded him, And then what happens after he calmed down? Tana. So we learned the Achash and Yashadite after he calmed down. The eyes of Yosi should return to its place. The Chazan, it got back. So complete eye surgery. Maybe he got back to 20/20 vision after that, and he did laser. Whatever, probably what? Yeah, whatever. So because of this story, the other Talmidim were worried. Is that we're not going to speak up first. Let him, schlep it out of us. Okay, all right. We discussed in the Mishnah. We discussed certain people, certain individuals have to go up to the Beis Hamikdash to be oile regel. Not every person. We excluded women. We excluded cheresh, shoyte, v'katan, someone that is deaf mute, a shoyta, an insane person, and a katan, a young child that is so young that he can't even walk up. So what's the gather of a shoyta? Eizeu shoyta. What is considered a shoyta, and a person that doesn't have his full faculties? If someone walks at night by himself, it's considered a shoyta, right? So don't walk at night yourself. And here's for the Detroiters. Halom besakvadas. If you sleep in besakvadas, consider the shaita. Send it home. And if you rip your garments. So now you have three categories. If you sleep in the besakvadas, you are considered an insane person. And if you rip your garments, and if you walk outside by yourself. Obviously, this is talking about the old days. The days of old, that walking at night, dark. No one walked at night by himself, because at night it was nitn shusla mazik. The night is the time when the mazikim, the shelim are out there. So someone who walks by himself at night is considered a shaitan. Itma. We learned. Avuna says that in order to categorize someone as a shaita, you have to have all three. You can't do just one of them. One of them you can find the reason why he did it. All three, if the guy does all three in a short time, then this guy is talking insane. They have to be in a short time, all three together. Says no, even only one of them. So now the Gemara is going to dissect these opinions. If this person walks, let's say at night, and you can tell that he's doing it not for any reason, you can tell that he's doing it because he's insane. Then one also. One of them is good enough to categorize him as shaita. If it didn't do it, if he even does all three, and he knows there's a reason why he does all three, why he walked at night, why he went to Pesach or why, then he shouldn't be considered a shaita even does all three. So what's the machlokes of Ravuna and Rabbi Yochanan? And for the Gemara, le'olam deka ovid lechtus. Truth is, he makes any of them in a way of an insane person. The problem is that if he only does one of them, you can still say that the reason why he did it, he might be an insane person, but the reason why he did it, he had a reason. What's the reason? Why did he sleep in Mesakvadas? They said he wanted to communicate with the spirits. That's why he did it. And therefore he's not an insane person. This is what he wanted. He wanted to, what is it called when they hold hands and do stuff?
Seance.
Yeah,
You always said it's not allowed.
Huh?
It's not allowed, right?
It's not allowed, but he decided he wants to, so he's going to be chayev, whatever, malchus or whatever, he's going to be chayev. Huh?
He's a Rashi. He's
Yeah,
not a
but it's not. Yeah, it's not a shaita. It's not to make him insane. He decided. If he walked out by himself at night, maybe gandrifas achdei. And it was he has fever. He was sweating. He needed to catch fresh air. He was jumping out of his skin. He was climbing out of his skin. So he went outside. So there's a reason why. And someone that ripped his garment. Maybe he's a. This is Baal Machshavas is the opposite. Baal Machshavas is usually someone that has an intellectual person. Here, they say someone that has a lot of thoughts on his mind. That describes a person that has an anxiety, has a depression. There's a lot of his weight. A lot of weight is on his shoulders, and so he's just like and rips his garment. So it's not a shaita. He has a lot going on and decided to let it out on his garments. So basically, each one has a reason why he would do it. So if you do each one, no, he's not a shaita. But if you do all three, then you gotta be insane. So kivan davdin lekula. As soon as he does all three, havelahu, it's like mishenogach shel chamoy v'gamal v'naisamur. We have halacha that even ox gores a cow. So the first few times, he's considered a tam. He's considered as someone that is not. It's not in his behavior is not settled. That this is something that he does. So the halacha would be that he has to pay half, etc. The details are in different Gemara. But if someone gores the same cow or three cows, one after the other, now he's someone that is a muad. He's put aside. He's ready. We know that he's going to gore cows, and now if he gores another cow, he has to pay 100%. What if he gores an ox, a donkey, and a camel? So he gores 3 times, but 3 different animals. If he gores a cow 3 times, he's considered a muad, someone that's prepared himself to gore cows. If he gores now a sheep, it's not considered a muad. He will still pay only half. But if he gores 3 different animals, it's one first time with this, and then second time another animal, and the third time a different animal, now he becomes muad lakoil. Anything that he gores is going to be considered the muad. The same thing a guy here that did all 3 insane things, he's considered an insane person for everything. So Amar Papa said, Ishmael Ravuna Hadatani Ravuna would have heard what they learned in Abdaise. Eza Shaita. What is a Shaita? Zama Abed Kol Mashnoisen, someone that loses everything that is given to him. Havahadabai, he would have walked back on his statement. We don't know if he would have walked back on all his statements. That needs to have all 3. Only one of them. That's what the Gemara is asking. The Gemara asks a question. Ki Havahadabai. Would he only walk back in the statement that someone rips his garment? Why? Because losing everything that you have, the dami elaho, it's very similar to ripping a garment. As soon as he heard that if you lose something, you're considered a shaita, ma'abed kol mashnas, not one item. You don't lose one item. Everyone loses an item here and there. But if you lose everything that you're given, then you're considered a shaita. So we don't know, take the Gemara's take, we don't know if the Papa meant to say that Abhuna's statement goes out totally, that all 3 are not counted, and you can just say that if he loses all items that are given to him, or just one statement. Okay. So basically, this is what we have here, that this is considered a shaita. Now, the Mishnah also mentioned another 2 individuals, a tumtum and a doignis. Tumtum is someone that we don't know if he's a male or a female. We don't know. It could be that eventually it will open up and we'll find out whether it's a male or female. And Doignas, he has male features and female features. When you look at him, you can see half male, half female. In the medical world, it exists today, and there are different levels, like 3 levels in a Doignas. Exactly what it is. And it's not non-binary. It doesn't include that.
Tumtum still exists today also?
Maybe, I don't know.
That's covered, so that's being surgery.
I think today they surgically do whatever. Yeah. Tanaban. We have a pasuk. Shalosh pa'amim bashana 3 times a year. Yedae kol zechorcha. All your males have to show themselves in the Beis Hamikdash. The pasuk could have said Shalosh pa'am bashana yedae kulam. Everyone has to show up. And then it would include everyone. The pasuk doesn't say that. The pasuk says all your males. It says males. It says your males. It says all your males. Now we're going to learn stuff from each one. We're going to learn something. Tanabana zachul, it says nashim. If it says male, obviously it comes to exclude all the females. Zechulcha, your male. Lahoitzi tumtum v'avagnas. It comes to exclude someone that you don't know for sure whether there's a male or not. It has to be your male, someone that sees your males as someone that you see clearly that is a male. Kol zechulcha. It says all your males. Now the all. But if you say male, it's coming to exclude. It's only males. If you say all males, then it's coming to include something because again, it's all. You could have said zechulcha, males. Why does it say all males? They're coming to include something. The Rabbi says to include the young children. Before you ask a question, the young children, we learned in the Mishnah, the young children don't have to go up. Hold that question, we're going to get to it, hopefully. Zechul, it says, Zechul chod. Zechul, loitzes anashim.
Is a young child not considered a male?
But we said already in the Mishnah that young children don't have to go up. Why is
Right.
Koil coming to say, including children?
Girls coming down under 13.
So that's the Gemara is going to say. The Gemara is going to say basically the Mishnah speaks about children, not under 13, children that are very young that can go up. Children that could go up, could hold their father's hand and walk up, is the call is coming to include. And the Gemara is going to ask if it's a pasuk or not. Why do we say that's mitzvah chinuch? It's a pasuk and it's a mitzvah. So the Gemara, we're going to get to it. So zechulcha to exclude women. A simple question: why do you have to exclude women? There's a halacha that if it's a mitzvah shazman geremes, if it's a timely mitzvah, something that the time causes you to do this mitzvah, like aliyah l'regel is only a few times a year, a woman does not have to do that mitzvah. Why do you have to have a specific pasuk to exclude women? Why do you need a pasuk mech? The mitzvah shazman geremes. It's a mitzvah at the time. It's a timely mitzvah. V'chol mitzvah shazman geremes. Nashim tuda. It's an old mitzvah that there's a timely mitzvah. The nashim don't have to do. We need a pasuk to exclude women. Kasal kadai techamina. We would have thought neile v'ir yemahakal. In the Gemara, in the page before, we said that there is a gzera shava. We find a word in hakel. V'ir. We find the same word in aliyah l'regel. And over by Hakel, it says Hakel Anoshim Noshim Atav. Everyone has to go up to the Beis Hamikdash. Maybe you would say that Aliyah Regel going up to Shalayim, because each mitzvah has the same word. We're going to compare the halachas also that the women also have to go up. So in order to make sure the woman don't have a chiyuv, we come and tell you zechol that it lights us Anoshim to exclude women. That it says zechol, and we exclude the woman. That zechulcha, your males, is coming to exclude a tumtum van doigenes. Now, a tumtum we don't know. Therefore, he's either 100% male or 100% female. There's no in between by a tumtum.
Does he know? Does she know?
Depends what it feels like. I don't know. But we don't know. So it's either 100% male or 100% female. So, and androgynous is different. Androgynous has both features. So it's 50-50. The suffix is greater by a tumtum than by androgynous. Androgynous, you know it's 50-50. Just don't know which one is more, which 50 is the real dominant one. By a tumtum, it's a bigger suffix because it's either this or this. It can't be half-half. We finish with this. That your males is coming to exclude the tumtum andoigenes. We have to have a pasuk that says no, you don't go up because he has 50% male. He has male features. He should go up. For those 50%, you have to go to the Beis Hamikdash. Kamash Malan, the better he's in his own species. And a tumtum sfekel, if a tumtum is a suffix, mi itzrach kul lemut sfekel, do we have to have a pasuk to tell you that a suffix should go up? A tumtum is 100% suffix, and because of that, it shouldn't go up. And for the Gemara, Amarik shebetzim mechutz is talking about a tumtum that a little bit of the sack is sticking out, but not the full avel. Not the full thing, and therefore we don't know, and it is still, we could assume that he is a Zachal, and the Pasuk comes tells you even such a person, no, he cannot go to the Beis Hamikdash.